So we start verse 25, and behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tested Jesus, saying, Teacher, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? So before we go any further, before we get into the parable of the Good Samaritan, we have to set the scene. There's a lawyer testing Jesus. So what's a lawyer? Why is there a lawyer testing Jesus? Now, if you remember, the last 2 weeks, Jesus was with the 70. So he was teaching the 70. Now, either he was teaching the 70 and some lawyer walks past and goes, excuse me, because there's no shift in scene. Verse 20, and behold, while this was happening, or was it possible that one of the 70 called was actually a lawyer? What do I have to do to get eternal life? And so either he was in the group or he was walking past and decided to get involved. And if that's true, Jesus wasn't somewhere in the middle of the desert. He was, somewhere where people could walk past and interrupt. And I personally, I lean to the side that he was one of the 70. He's still one of these disciples of Jesus trying to work things out. But other people say he was just walking past. But he was interrupting. And the question is an interruption. It's an interruption to everything that's gone before. Jesus teaching about, rejoice. And then he's rejoicing himself, as we looked at last week. Happy Jesus. And then, but it actually does, Luke includes it because it ties in with everything we're learning about Luke 10. What are we learning in Luke's gospel? How do we do ministry? What should our joy be in? We must rejoice in eternity and not in ministry. And the lawyer has a question about eternity. So this is important. And so maybe he overheard the interaction, or maybe he was part of the 70, and he was told, you don't rejoice that you are, casting out demons. Rejoice that your name's written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Rejoice that your name's written in heaven. And this lawyer goes, well, hold on a minute. What do I have to do, teacher, to inherit eternal life? Notice he didn't call him Lord. The 70 called him Lord. So maybe this lawyer's backing off from his commitment, or like I said, maybe he's an outsider. I don't know. Okay, the scripture doesn't tell us. But he was there with this. There's no Jesus talking to his disciples. And so he asked this question, what do I have to do to get into heaven? And so Jesus asked him a question, what do you think? What is written in the law and what's your reading of it? In other words, you're a lawyer. What do you think the law says? Now, just remember that in modern Britain, lawyers are a secular job, yes? Because they will deal with national law, okay? Case law, English law, Great Britain law, United Kingdom law. The law of the land of Israel as a nation is the law of Moses. It's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.